Okay, then welcome everyone to season 4 demo day of the Blockchain Founders Group, where some of our startups, 8 of our startups to be specific, will be presenting today their pitches. They will be presenting what they have been working on, showcasing what can be achieved during the BFG Superstars incubation and the BFG Adrenaline incubation program. So we have some exceptional ideas from different areas. We're covering healthcare, transaction and payments, analytics in the DeFi space, compliance, security, but also market making. And it's great to have you guys here today. Also, very welcome to everyone who is watching this, because our startups have worked really, really hard during the last 3 months of incubation and around 1 month of acceleration. And yeah, today these efforts will be culminated in a 5 minutes pitch. So you're going to see what they have been working on. But first of all, let's jump into today's agenda. So we're starting with a short introduction from about 10 minutes, where I will be talking about what BFG is, what we are doing. Then I also will present the judges panel consisting of 3 amazing judges we have invited today. And then we will head over to the startup pitches. Each pitch will go about 5 minutes. And afterwards, we will give the chance to have a little Q&A session with about 3 questions from the judges. So that will be ending around 12:45. So we got roughly 2 hours there, and then we will have some closing remarks and end the event by around 1 p.m. So let's start with this. Let's start presenting myself. My name is Dominic Pier, and I'm working for the Blockchain Founders Group as a business developer, but also kind of a venture manager, so both supporting the growth of BFG, but also the growth of the startups. I'm based in Germany, and I'll be hosting the event today. If you want to talk to me later on, you can always shoot me an email, or also check me out on LinkedIn, shoot me a message. If you want to get to know our startups a bit closer, if you're an investor, but also if you're a startup founder, we will talk about future possibilities for you to take part in one of our programs, and you can always reach me out. Also, make sure to follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Medium to have some updates about BFG. So what is BFG? What are we doing? Who are we? So we are the Blockchain Founders Group. So we are a startup incubator, but also a startup accelerator. We are investing in Web3 business models. So with a ticket around 70 to 100K, we have been backing over 20 companies now in the last couple of years. And our focus is very global. So we are remote, we are international. You can access our programs from all around the world. Also, our colleagues are located very diversely. So we have Max and Young working from South Korea, but also Yona working in South America, and some of us based in Europe. So you can join us from all around the world and engage with us if you're an early startup with a minimum viable product. So we provide you support. You can also see some of our previous startups, for example, Ecolance or Mikesh Particular. They have been working in different areas. You can check all those startups out at our website. And yeah, that being said, let's move on to who makes this possible. So our board of directors, also with a very diverse background. We have, for example, Philipp Sandner, the founder of the Frankfurt School Blockchain Center, or also kind of known as the Crypto Pope in Germany. We have Ulrich Spindler, who had founded the MedPacks online pharmacy and sold it, and is now consulting in different projects, but also Wolfgang Mandler, who has a very international career and is experienced as investor consultant. Then some of our executive partners, for example, Sarah Gottwald, our CEO, who comes also from a background of the financial sector and is now leading the BFG team. But of course, all this wouldn't be possible without the core team, my colleague Max Young, Melissa, who has also organized this event today. So thank you very much. And Jonah, who is also doing some operations in the background. But enough about us. Let's talk about today's judges. We have Pascal, Andreas, Martin. Pascal, who is working for Wallet Engine Labs. Andreas, who is the Ecosystem and Operations Director at the Human Protocol Foundation. And Martin, who is mentor at Techstars. I will give each of you a minute to present yourself. So maybe let's start off with Pascal.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Can you just let me know, Dominic, if you can hear me? Should be all fine, right?
Okay. Hi, Pascal. Good to see you.
Nice. Good to see you again. Hello, everyone. So yeah, quick background on myself. I was in the past more in the, you could say, regulated space. So I founded a neobank, a wallet as a service company called Wallet Engine. I did this for quite a while, was leading the growth behind that project. We sold the company, the banking services in the end to another provider in Singapore. So afterwards, I actually founded another company in the Web3 space. Throughout the journey, since I sold the company too, I became mentor, advisor for several VC funds. Now advisor also at BFG, but also doing stuff for 500 and Ripple. And one of my main engagements right now is also I'm leading a team for a very large payments company in Web3. Yeah, and super happy to be here. I can especially provide a lot of value for growth and sales, and hope to see a lot of good go-to-market strategies today. Thank you.
Thank you, Pascal. Over to you, Andreas.
I'm very happy to be here. Very much looking forward to listening to all the amazing pitches that we are expecting today. Yeah, I'm currently Ecosystem Operations Director at Human Protocol. We basically tokenize work and have a request engine going for full life cycles of any kind of digital request. We've already worked with a couple of BFG portfolio startups, so can't wait to see if there's more synergies to explore. Thank you.
Thank you, Andreas. Happy to have you. And last but not least, Martin.
Hi, yes, thanks for the invite. Looking forward to the pitches. My name is Martijn Siebrand, indeed mentor at Techstars from my job as lead for digital assets on ABN AMRO. What we do with Techstars is that we scan also the market for interesting companies, and within ABN AMRO, I'm the lead for all our tokenization efforts, where we did a transaction for a mid-core client. We recently did a green bond with an institutional client. We use Polygon for that. And we're working towards new transactions there. We have the proposition approved from our markets department within ABN AMRO, so we can really scale now this solution to our clients.
Okay, great. Thank you very much to our judges for being here today. They will be evaluating the pitches. I will say something about that shortly. But now let's get to know briefly our startups who will be pitching today. So this is also the order they will be pitching. So we will start off with Europay, who want to provide secure, instant, and cheap transactions in Africa. So cross-border money transfers. Then we have TrustBytes, who are combining AI to provide Web3 security. We have Cryi, who want to revolutionize the signal trading market, so make it more transparent. Then Snark Health with Edwin, who will show you how to find a new way to pay for healthcare. Then Smooth Protocol, that want to reduce the volatility infrastructure in crypto businesses. We have Chain Comply, a new way to understand the crypto holdings of your clients in a fast way. Tin Networks, providing a dashboard for tracking and managing DeFi portfolios, so a lot of analytics. And last but not least, we have Yuki, who want to provide Web3 Stripe for African businesses and developers. So that was just a brief overview of these startups and their ideas. They will have 5 minutes to pitch, to present their product, and then we will have around 8 minutes of Q&A from the audience and also from the jury. So there will be some judging criteria. So first of all, that would be the market potential. So understand if they have identified an area of interest and whether the project they're addressing has potential or not. Then the technical feasibility. Some projects in Web3 are kind of hard, so they will be judged if it's a novel application, how they can do it. Third, the business models. So how they can scale their business and which is their model and growth plans. And lastly, the strength of the founding team. So the judges will be evaluating the team, their background, past experiences, and if they're well equipped and confident to deliver the project. So the feedback will be sent afterwards to the teams. And that being said, without further ado, and to keep this in time, let's start with our first pitches. So I'm very happy to welcome Europay and the founder, Philip, to present their product.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen now. All right. Hi, my name is Philip, and I'm one of the co-founders of Europay and CEO, and we are building a stablecoin wallet for individuals in Africa. Meet Morris. Morris is a civil engineer in Ghana who needs to send money to his family in Kenya every week. Existing means seem to be very inconvenient for Morris. He has to pay up to 10% his fees and wait up to 3 days for the process to be done. He also experiences bad exchange rate, and there are so many intermediaries in between, which also reduces the amount his family receives and also increases the transaction cost. At the same time, African currencies are depreciating at a rate of 8%, which affects Morris' income. Unfortunately, Morris is not alone, and this is a huge problem. Today in Africa, there are over 20 million documented Africans living in another African country, and on average, they are transacting $100 every month, which translates to a volume of $2 billion. Europay targets a 5% market share, which will translate to $100 million transaction volume per month, and this will give us roughly $2 million in monthly recurring revenue. So far, we've achieved 2,000 users, done transactions volume of 200,000, as well as generated over 1,400 in revenue. So this is the Europay solution. It's a digital wallet that enables individuals to access stablecoins. And so with these stablecoins, they can send and receive money across borders at low fees, hedge against inflation, as well as on and off ramp stablecoins in the wallet to get fiat. There's also the ability to send from Europay to another non-Europay user, for example, to their mobile money or bank account. This is how Europay works. So with the Europay solution, Morris can now send and receive money to his family and friends instantly at fraction the fee of traditional means. So all Morris needs to do is download the Europay app on Play Store, App Store, deposit fiat via mobile money or bank, and then he's gonna get equivalent of stablecoins. Then from there, Morris can now send the money. Off-ramping here is done by Europay mobile money agents, which allows Morris to convert the stablecoins to cash on the other end. And then we have also partnered with Imalipay, also for on and off ramping. This is this is what our customers are saying so far. They are loving the Europay experience. We have Morris, who now has been able to reduce his fee from 10% to just 2%. We also have Benson. So like I said, we also do a stablecoin on and off ramping. So we have UBI and microcredit beneficiaries on Europay, who after receiving their stablecoins can off ramp for local currencies. We also have Catherine and Veronica, and this is what they're saying. Then this is how much what the team has achieved so far. So we have achieved 2,000 active users within 3 months and processed transactions volume of 200,000 and like I said, generated over 1,400 in revenue in just 3 months. We've also had Europay audited by Quill Audits, which is an accredited smart contracts auditor. We've also received a grant of 21,000 from Celo Blockchain in partnership with Presenti. And these are some, we've also gone through training, including BFG. And recently we did partnership with Impact Market, which I'll talk to in the next slide, as well as MiniPay. So this is how we got our first customer, 2,000 customers. We leveraged on diaspora community events and groups, such as WhatsApp groups, referrals, and partnership. This is part of our go-to-market strategy. So we partnered with Impact Market for UBI and microcredit, whereby their beneficiaries can on and off ramp via Europay. We also partnered with MiniPay recently, which is Opera Mini's official wallet for on and off ramping. And in future, we hope to get to 5,000 users, 500,000 users by leveraging, tapping into the global diaspora community, as well as onboarding mobile money agents and social media marketing. This is how we make money on Europay. At the moment, we only charge withdrawing fees. We don't charge Europay to Europay transactions, and that's 2%. And this is how Europay compares to other startups and other players in the market. So Europay, first of all, offers stablecoins, which cash and remittances platforms such as Western Union don't. We also charge a very small fee, just 2%. Transactions, because of using stablecoins, are instant, and Europay is self-custodial. So we don't hold any users' funds. We just provide a platform to easily interact with the blockchain. And that's unique to Europay. This is the team, a strong team made of myself, blockchain developer for over 3 years, a previous co-founder of Usafi Innovations, which is an IoT-based startup in Kenya. We have James, who is an entrepreneur in residence at an accelerator in Kenya, where he worked there previously 3 years. Then we also have Alan, who is a certified blockchain developer with over 4 years of experience. And that's it from Europay. Yes.
Thank you very much, Philip. Let's head over to the judges, and floor is open for some questions to Philip and the team.
Yeah. Hi, Philip. This is Pascal. I have an initial question. So when you were going through your slide deck, I was wondering what's your licensing setup? Because at the one side, I also didn't understand whether you're custodial or if it's non-custodial.
Yeah, so Europay is non-custodial. In terms of regulation, we are working with a peer-to-peer model. So that way we don't have to worry much about regulation. So it's a peer-to-peer where on the platform, people exchange fiat, then they get equivalent stablecoins. So we use Europay agents for that. So that's where we are navigating the regulation at the moment.
I see. So it's not non-custodial. Maybe one quick follow-up question. How do you aim to get these users onto this non-custodial environments where they need to take care of their own keys? Yeah.
So we simplified the platform such that instead of the user worrying about saving their private keys, we use a passcode. So the passcode you create when you're creating a Europay account, it encrypts your private key. And so the private key is stored on the phone, so you can access it anytime. And in case it's lost, you can retrieve it using the passcode. So users don't have to worry about writing it down. Yeah.
See, interesting. That's a good solution for sure. Thanks.
Hi, thanks for the pitch. Andreas here. What's your competitive advantage? I saw you use a lot of partners and third-party technology. So what's your own proprietary tech?
So like I said, the first one is we do offer stablecoins. So if you look at cash payments in Africa, they don't allow cross-border payments. Same for mobile money. And so with stablecoins, first of all, there's reduced fee. Then apart from that, we also have the way simplified our P2P model. So unlike other platform where you trade with someone, a peer-to-peer merchant or agent you don't know, Europay has its own agent. So that way we're able to build trust and easily follow up in case there's any trouble when you need to cash in or cash out. Then the other one has to be by leveraging the Celo stablecoin. We don't have to worry, users don't have to worry about gas fees when doing Europay transactions. So no need for you to have some Ethereum Fast or other tokens for you to do transactions. And it's also instant and low fee.
You have another question, Andreas, or?
Yes, my question would be, what's your ask currently? What are you looking for?
So at the moment, we are raising our pre-seed round. I don't know if I should mention here, but we talked to BFG about it. So we are doing a pre-seed round, and this is to build our own API. So in as much as we are working on we are utilizing the Europay agents, it's not so scalable because some of them get so many orders at the same time. And so facilitating transactions really fast, it's pretty hard. So with an API that directly connects them agents, let's say mobile money or bank accounts, it's going to make the transaction really fast. There's also the fact that we are leveraging Pay API for also on and off ramp. But if we build our own API, that's more revenue and also easier. It makes us really flexible. So right now, our ask is more of pre-seed round.
Right. Thanks for your pitch. It's a clear story. I was wondering, you showed how big the problem is. I think there are solutions for this evolving over time as well. There's indeed the TransferWire and all the traditional players that still have a role. So a lot of people will not know that there are new solutions out there that you are able to use. We see also big companies stepping in the market for stable coins. Also like SocGen last week, for example, they have also a global presence. How do you see them as a competitor, or do you see that they will help to share the message that you can benefit from?
I think the first one has to be the approach we are taking. So Europay leverages on communities first. So in as much as these big players might be there, people already associated them with high fees. So we have also checked some of the players like Flutterwave, which is also trying to do stablecoins, but the fees are still high, even if it's with stablecoin. And so Europay is trying to really leverage that. And then most of these platforms, in as much as they get into the market, they are leveraging stablecoins that still require gas fees for transactions. So that makes Europay really unique and stand out. So at the moment, we don't use USDT. And the main issue is because you need some token fast before you can transact. So for us, our approach is more of people who are less aware about crypto and just need an easy platform for them to send money across borders.
Okay, thanks. And then you have a target market of 5%, which translates to many transactions on a monthly basis. Is the 5% also needed to have a valid business case, or can you do it with 1 or 2% already?
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
So you have a target market of 5% of the market that you would like to target as a client. You will make some cost. You have a team. You have to pay things yourself as well. Is 5% the minimum that you need to cover the costs, or are you then already a profitable business?
Okay, so at the moment we are already profitable, even with the revenue I've shared. But then that's our target for the next 5 years, at least 5% of the market. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So in 5 years, we target to at least have captured up to 5%. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, clear. I don't have any other questions. Thanks for the insights.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe I would have one last question if we still have time. So I would be very curious. You were mentioning on the go-to-market slide too that you already have 2,000 users. You did a lot of this through referrals. I think that's really challenging, especially in the early times, but great on you to have figured that out. What is your growth target from now? Like I saw you will do some B2B deals, but will you also be still on the ground and try to sign up clients? What is your strategy behind it if these B2B partners don't fall through? Because one of the big issues in fintech is also sometimes you sign B2B deals, but they never really get executed. So what's your backup?
So ours still remains the diaspora community events around Africa. So like recently we had some in Ghana, which gave us a lot of users. So they organized, for example, East Africans in Ghana. Those are from Uganda, Tanzania. And so during those events, we get a moment to pitch about Europay and how we've built a solution for people to send money across borders. That's what has really worked like magic for us. And we also plan to do that. Then we also plan to do community university tours. So attend different universities around, especially those with a high number of international students. we pitch about Europay. So we also believe that this one will also help us with spreading the word. So in as much as our main target users are people who are working class, because they have a lot of money to transact, but we're also trying to see how these university students can maybe spread the word for us. But then leveraging on community groups still remains our biggest go-to-market. So anywhere there's an event for diaspora community, we are there. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
It was a pleasure working with you guys during the last months. And also thanks to the judges for the valuable questions. Let's move on to our next teams, our AI agents for Web3 security. I open the stage for Mark, Jeremy, and Jonas with the project TrustBytes.
Hello, everyone. We are Team TrustBytes, and together we are building an AI suite to accelerate the complete workflow of Web3 security. Who are we to build the next AI solution? The original idea to pair AI with smart contracts came from Mark, who has not only more than 2 decades of experience in development like data lakes, which are necessary for any AI, but also even more experience in leading and transforming large organizations. Jonas brings in the knowledge with a master in blockchain tech and experience of having built 2 Web3 companies, one with more than 2,000 clients and 20 million under management in just short 5 months. I'm the third co-founder and spent the last 11 years in cloud solutions from the needed infrastructure for large machine learning applications like the early programmatic advertisement to manage security, and also applications like AI SaaS solutions for the likes of Lego or Volkswagen. And I'm a world champion athlete. Our vision is bold. We want to use advanced AI with the aim of securing exponential technologies, as they will define the near future for all of us. And the numbers are shocking. 8 trillion in damages is just the start. The first use case will be blockchain. Then we go to AI systems themselves and quantum technology. So let's dive into the first use case, Web3 hacks. They are still happening, though audits are done. One reason for that is auditing is still manual. And we've talked to hundreds of auditors. As a matter of fact, in average, $11,000 per audit are wasted, only leaving 24% of the time of the auditor for the essence of it, and finding vulnerabilities falls short. Our solution will change the game. We enable comprehensive insights in a fraction of the time, which means more bugs found in less time. And now Mark will present you our MVP.
The product, our AI suite, puts auditor on steroids. It helps them to understand project and code 10 times faster, find more vulnerabilities in less time, and semi-automate audit report and proof of concept generation. So when I move to the demo now, I want to audit a file from a client. It's a password store. I upload it to our AI suite and present it here on the left-hand side with a file. I read it, it's new, I'm a bit confused. So I ask the AI, help me understand the code and make enter. And then the AI gives me here some additional information. It makes me a function analysis, and it gives me some code logic explanation. I can go over to the password store and look over there, is it right or not? And then when I'm done here, I can ask the AI, help me find vulnerabilities. And I ask here the AI in the code, and it will present me here with a list of vulnerabilities. That it's a vulnerability assessment where I see that the set password function is public to everyone, and it's not good to save passwords to the blockchain. This is my demo, and let's switch over to the presentation again, and I give over to Jonas.
When we look at the market size, we looked into the spend cost for software tools that developers are spending worldwide on software tools. And then we broke it down to the blockchain developers, including the auditors. Our slice of the pie would then be 8.5 million in revenue in 2026. Next slide, please. When we look at our business model, we are building a recurring SaaS model, separated in different phases, and phase 1 already started. So first we target independent auditors then SME audit firms, and then we are going upstream and downstream with enterprise clients like large audit firms and also protocols, and then also individual blockchain engineers. In terms of our traction, over the last couple of weeks, we conducted more than 500 interviews with auditors and audit firms, had 95 sales meetings and generated 10 pre-sales for our AI auditing suite. In terms of outreach, we see most success on LinkedIn with 35,000 followers across all our profiles with an acceptance rate of 62%. Also, we onboarded top-tier advisors for AI and auditing, and we secured our first angel investment. When we look at our ecosystem, we are participating in panel discussions, talks, public events. We also won a pitch event at Google in Warsaw, and we are in touch with the top-tier audit firms in the industry like Quantum and Hacken, and we won some prize money for participating in the East Global Hackathon. So what do our customers say? For example, our customer Shieldify, a small and medium-sized audit firm, is like really emphasize that we cover the entire audit process from A to Z and make them really more efficient in finding or conducting their audits and finding more bugs in less time. Also, our clients are around the world, which really proves that there's a need globally and that we are scale our solution globally. Now, thank you very much for your attention, and now we're looking forward to your questions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for your presentation, and I hand over again to our judges.
Great. I have an initial question. So we have been doing a couple of audits, and I do believe that other auditing companies like Certic already employ scripts and other automation tools to check for vulnerabilities already. So what's the difference here with AI?
One difference is normally during the interviews, we identified that auditors use up to 12 or 15 different tools, so switch back and forth. And while we integrate everything in one consistent workflow with our suite.
Okay, great. And your AI solutions, could you give me like you showed an example, but that was a pretty simple one, probably that's common. So what's your accuracy score compared to a human input?
This is still the MVP. So we are building up. We are actually raising our pre-seed to train the initial algorithms. We just tested everything. So we would target 90 to 95% accuracy later on.
Hi, Pascal here. I have a question regarding the sales slide you were showing there. So first of all, I mean, great job on getting 500, like reaching out to 500 clients and getting like over 90 interviews. I think that's pretty good. You also had some success or like customer testimonials there, but I would be curious, how many of these have you actually managed to sign, and which of them are likely to implement it also within the next year, let's say?
Yeah, thanks for your question, Brett. So these are already paying clients, so we already signed them. This is like basically was a pre-sale, and basically our goal here is that we build up this community of small and medium-sized audit firms as well as independent auditors to co-build our AI auditing suite with them together. So they already signed and paid.
Okay, got it. So you have any, maybe I missed that part, but so you have already some monthly recurring revenues?
Not recurring revenues. This was rather a one-time fee.
One time.
It's like, but we are switching to a SaaS model later on.
Okay.
This is like rather like to figure out if there's like any demand and how much demand it was. Also, we wanted to put a threshold here so that they really take it seriously. And really are keen to develop or co-build our AI auditing suite together with them.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Thank you, Jonas.
Thanks for the pitch. Interesting product. From the interviews, do you see a kind of specific market you would like to touch? You did 500 interviews, which is quite a lot, I would say. So did you find also a market you say that's the one that we go to focus on first?
Yeah, so first we target like independent auditors, like especially auditors that do audits themselves, like for example on platforms like Code for Arena or Immunify and so on, but also small and medium-sized audit firms. And then the next stage would then be like that we also target larger clients, enterprise clients, like the big audit firms in the industry.
And why would you start with the smallest first?
Because like, I mean, for us, it was like the easiest way to get in touch with them. And like during our interviews, we also figured out that there is like some sort of interest and they are very keen to learn more about the solution. It's just harder to get to the first or to the bigger audit firms in the industry first. Like I said, we are already in touch even with the big players in the market, but it's just way harder, especially if you're just building your MVP.
I think like the smallest, they really need to see the added value and that they themselves also still can exist, while the biggers can maybe calculate also the cost benefits quite early and get some interest from that side.
That's
Totally
correct.
agree. Yes.
If I may add to that, so we follow a focused approach as well and want to really concentrate on this small segment first to increase the value and also get more feedback than we would get from an enterprise customer, for example, and then scale up.
Okay. Thanks for the clarification.
Welcome.
Okay, are there any further questions from the judges? If not, we have one question from the chat. I can maybe read it out loud. So there was one person asking, they were wondering how the audit works if the contract is inheriting other libraries. Does the also audit the libraries too? Also, how does it work with upgradable contracts? So more a tech question here, kind of.
That's a very good point because as a matter of fact, statistically, the most vulnerabilities are happening with integrations. So this is also one thing we focus on to understand or to basically focus the AI on looking at the libraries, what is happening between that for external calls, for example, and then giving back. So this will be implemented as well.
And if I may add, so first of all, we target like one-time audits, like they are conducted at the moment. But then we are also looking into monitoring, so that we are going to that direction that we build our solution for like a 24/7 monitoring of protocols in a later stage.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Mark, Jeremy, and Jonas. I believe all the questions are answered. We still have some time left, but if there is no further questions, we can jump to our next startup. Our next startup is Cryi. I'm happy to welcome Yuri. So of all of you who are interested in trading, this will be a really interesting use case. So I won't talk anymore. I will hand over the stage to you. You have, as every startup, 5 minutes, starting now.
Hi guys, I'm Yura, CEO and founder of Cryi. And I want to first imagine a world where anyone even without crypto or trading know-how can confidently dive into the trading, and pro traders can monetize their skills hassle-free. That's the world we at Cryi are building. To start with, who we are. So we are a team of experts who contribute more than 50 years of product development, 30 years of blockchain, and 10 years of trading experience combined. We are the finalists of Ton Blockchain Hackathon, and our teammates worked with such companies as Huobi, Equifax, ZipMax, and more. To give you a bit of context, the signal trading is a middle ground between copy trading and manual trading. Essentially, signals are text-based trading ideas that are often shared on Telegram, Discord, or such. that you can manually execute on your favorable trading venue. And signal providers are people who share the signals with the community. During the acceleration, we talked to around 30 traders of all levels, starting from a student from Ukraine and ending up with the trader from the hedge fund making millions in bonuses. And the feedback we got is that signal trading is completely broken. And to give you a bit of context of the problem, I want you to guide through a typical trader journey. Probably everything will start from you seeing on your social media some scammy looking ads promoting you to join a signal trading group. In order for a signal provider to prove their deep market knowledge, they can share their Excel spreadsheet where they faithfully record every single trade. And if that's not enough for you, they can even show you a screenshot from the Binance that you should trust. So yeah, either you're easily influenced by ads, experiencing FOMO, or maybe to have too many coins on your wallet, you decide to pay upfront around $140 per month using clumsy website, Google Forms, or via manager who might ignore you or scam you right away. And finally, that moment has come. You see your trading signal and you're getting excited to triple your portfolio, but you're facing challenges once again because you need to manually execute all the trades, juggling between multiple apps. Whereas Cryi simplifies the journey for all, we are crafting the decentralized yet reliable ecosystem where every signal provider are assessed and ranked by recording and evaluating the signals on blockchain, forming verifiable success rating. Traders, from other hand, can choose signal providers informally from publicly available leaderboard, pick their preferred payment method, and interact with signals seamlessly, eliminating manual copying. And everyone can enjoy a user-friendly trading terminal that connects to all major centralized and decentralized exchanges. The crypto traders and stock traders market is valued in around 70 billion USD, and with 104 million active crypto and stock traders, we are targeting at 405 million as our SAM with 1 million users. So regarding the competitors, while our competitors are building communities inside of their platforms and enabling users to copy every single trade or no trade, like in Control, from our side, we envision freedom, decentralization, and control by allowing signal providers to be on any essential platform they prefer and using Cryi purely for marketing and automation purposes, and for traders to choose which signals to copy and when. Regarding our business model, so we have 3 main milestones. For the MVP, we'll take the affiliate commission from every trader that joins paid signal group, and we'll have an advertisement. For the V1, we will have subscription-based model for users who want to use our automation tools. And for the V2, we will have our trading school powered by our own Cryi token. During our acceleration, we managed to increase our social media footprint drastically, mainly by partnering with Telegram influencers and running the Zilli campaign, which brought a lot of people. And for the customer acquisition, we as well have 3 main milestones. First of all is directed outreach. We already partnered with dozens of signal providers with a total amount of subscribers as 130K, which allow us to reach the audience. We also continuously partnering with other automation tools to bring not only physical signal providers, but also the automated ones. And we constantly engage with the community through Zilli, AMA sessions, and podcasts. Regarding the team, I myself was a designer for 5 years, working with fintech mostly, and for the last 3 years worked with Web3 startups. Our CTO, highly experienced engineer, worked previously at ZipMax, one of the biggest Thai crypto exchange. And that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a really nice and engaging pitch, Yura. And back to the judges.
Yeah, thanks for the pitch. How did you validate the 50% commission?
Sorry?
How did you validate the 50% commission? Is it compared to others in the industry or?
Yeah, it's not 50, it's 15.
Yeah.
So the typical affiliate commission is 20%. That's something that signal providers are charged from the other platforms. And yeah, we decided to decrease it to the 15%, which is, according to the interviews, is a good deal because signal providers have the broader reach for the audience that they wouldn't get without the Cryi.
And then you will start end of next year also with subscription fee for other users.
Yes. So in order for you to automate how you execute the signals, you'll need to pay the subscription fee. We are thinking to start from the $5 per month, which is almost nothing, but provides a lot of value.
All right, thank you.
Great. Very interesting. You said you're solving the trust and transparency issue. Is there any reputation system? Because it feels like now they need to trust you. So is there a system where you crawl these things either through open source, or you sign some reputation recording oracles that capture all the data and transport it in a public way?
Yeah, so after signal provider create the signal using our Telegram bot, we take the signal in our backend first, then we encrypt it and send it on a blockchain with a timestamp. So in the end of each month, we can post your personal trading statistics that you can use, purely for yourself, even if you don't want to be a signal provider, which is verifiable via on-chain. And that is how we can say that, okay, you as a trader is a good trader or you are a bad trader.
Great. And do you have an initial number on success rate or like an average gain percentage? I saw, I think, a mock-up on that, but...
Yeah, so it really varies. So like the worst I heard is around 40 to 50%, and the best signal provider was saying to me that 1 month he had 90% win rate, which I'm not sure that it's true, but yeah, on average it's around 50 to 60% if you're talking about the signal providers and pro traders.
Brilliant, thank you.
I have one more question regarding your path to profitability. So I assume, like, for me, this sounds quite complicated to build the backend for it. What's actually your cost structure, and by when do you estimate to be profitable, or maybe you are profitable already? Maybe you can touch upon this point quickly.
Yeah, so currently we have only proof of concept, which is not public yet. So we are raising proceeds to build the MVP, and we're planning to be profitable during the first 2 months of operations, and that's due to high signal providers channel price. It's around $140 per month, which could be lower and which could be higher, and we'll take 15% from that. And we also will have the advertisement for signal providers that are not on the first page of a leaderboard, because the only way to be on leaderboard is by submitting good signals to be a good trader. But if you're bad, maybe we want to be highlighted, you can pay us the advertisement fee, which is also on average is around $300 per day. So this is how we plan to be profitable from the first months of operation.
So does the jury have any further questions? Okay, I will take that as a no. I'm just looking at the chat. I don't think we have any questions there. So thank you, Yuri, for being that clear in your pitch. If there are no questions, then you very well transmitted the message. Thank you for being here today. And now we are switching to a completely different topic. So leaving trading and signaling behind and moving on to a very important topic, healthcare. And for that, I would like to introduce Edwin from Snark Health. And again, 5 minutes for your pitch, and then the jury will ask you some questions afterwards. Let's go.
Right. So just my audio, it's good, yeah? So a new way to pay for healthcare. I'm Edwin, CTO and co-founder of Snark Health. We're combining data assets, digital assets, and neural networks. And basically what we're doing is we're reinventing how patients access and pay for healthcare. And we're giving patients an opportunity to see a doctor for $0. So we're removing financial barriers to care. And then also we're creating what we call a revolutionary checking account. So the data that is being created continuously between doctor and patient is going to fund their checking account to pay for healthcare today, because that data, we're selling it. It's already identified. And then the third option, which is the novel health savings vehicle, this is a savings account which is going to pay for their future healthcare expenses. So all this is just built around the patient and their doctor. Right. So just to give context, what we're trying to solve is the payment, and the three ways we pay for healthcare is not working both for patients and doctors. It's either fee for service, capitated payments, bundled payments, and the issue of cost and access is not unique to Kenya alone. This is a global problem, and in Kenya we only have about 23% of the population having access to some form of healthcare insurance. So Snark Health, we're approaching it in 4 ways. We've created a platform that's connecting patients and doctors with the narrow network for diagnosis and treatments. So we have what we call at-risk contracting. A patient can come on the platform and say, hey, I don't have money to pay the doctor, but I'm willing to exchange my data. So then Snark Health or doctor will go at risk for the consultation fee and pay. So if the doctor says, I need to pay bills, so I still need to get paid. So Snark Health will pay on behalf of the patient, and then when we make money during data monetization, we recover our cash. And then we have a liquidity provider section where a liquid provider can come on the platform and fund X number of patients. And then that means the liquidity provider is the payer in this case. So they will earn majority of the earnings after we sell the data. And then lastly, our health savings vehicle, which is a Hippocratic coin. This one is, think of it like a reward system. It keeps building over time and patients can use it to pay for healthcare expenses as needed. Right, so our customer segment is hospitals, payers, doctors, and patients, and we're guaranteeing patients improved access and lowering cost for them, and doctors serving more funded patients. In terms of the market potential, our initial market is Kenya, so our SOM for now is $70 to $80 million. And I mean, just to give you a snapshot, data revenue alone with 1 billion members, we're looking at 28 billion revenue. This is global. We make money on, 9% on transaction fees. That is on consultation fee for service model. And then we also do revenue share with hospitals in our system. And then what we're calling future healthcare, we monetize on the data. So depending who is the payer, the earnings are split. If it's Snark Health, then you'll get 90% of the earnings. If you ask who is a data customer, those are pharmaceuticals, health systems, and even the government. So in these unit economies, we can go a bit deeper if there's interest, but just for a quick snapshot, in a case of West Snark Health, the payer will earn as little from $70 to $256. And this is our Hippocratic coin, which we've done our distribution. Our cap is 21 billion, and we're building it on Hedera, and we chose Hedera because of the speed of transactions. Competition is out there, but what we're seeing mostly is bundled payments, conveners, and telemedicine companies. So they're not really doing anything new because they're just making the cost and to care expensive. So for us, we'll compete on fees. We can even go up all the way to zero because we know we're leveraging on the data. So this is where we'll make most and will help more patients afford healthcare in the end. So our traction is up there. We have 5,000 patients working with them, over 100 consultations per week. And gap data is our important data customer because they're helping us with packaging and sale of the data. And that's the team. Henk, I've known him for 25 years. He's bringing in 18 plus years of experience in healthcare. I'm the engineer leading the tech, and Karen is doing the doctor facing in terms of just understanding how we can connect with the medical practitioners who are on our platform, their concerns and so on. And then Shomit is advising us on fundraising and so on. Yeah, so the app is out there. It's both on Android and USSD for folks who don't have internet access in our region. And I'll stop there, but that's a quick summary basically in terms of onboarded, how many patients and partnerships. Yeah, happy to hear your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Edwin. That was right on time, and it must be really difficult to pack so many information only in 5 minutes. But that's why we have another 8 minutes for some questions, and I'm sure there will be some questions. So back to the judges.
Yeah, I have one initial question. That looked like some impressive revenue numbers for reselling the data. Have you tested these revenue numbers for the willingness to pay? Are there any buyers yet?
Yes, so I think, just to think of it like proof of transaction, right? So Gap Data have already gotten as a pharmaceutical who's interested, and for them, they were just investigating a specific drug for malaria, and so they were able to write us a check. But for us, we said, okay, instead of us struggling to look for all these data customer who's going to buy, we leave it to the data brokers because they've been in the game for a while, so they'll just find us the buyers. So we still because we've just turned on things recently. So, and there is also being part of this program is to look for all this partnership and figure out how we can now go a bit faster in onboarding, let's call it data acquisition strategy.
I have a question. How do you facilitate the payments in this scenario? Like when
Yes, so the patient is presented choices, right? So the patient can come on board and say, I have insurance. I can afford to pay a doctor. So I don't really need to be part of the monetization. I'll just pay directly. So if they're paying cash, then we already have M-Pesa integrated, which I believe you've heard of it. So you top up on your wallet and you proceed to pay. And if you say you have an insurance company, no problem. Is it listed on our platform? Yes. And then you just select your insurance. And then Snark Health will chase the insurance for our money. But if you come on platform and say, I don't have any of that, I can't afford a doctor, then Snark Health will step in and pay for your consultation fee. And then that way, so everything is now within our wallet, behind the scenes.
So you would be the one that's paying the doctor the money for the consultation?
Yes, exactly. To go straight to their wallet and then they can withdraw
That's
to
also
their...
M-Pesa.
Yes.
Okay. Understood. Okay. Maybe. Oh yeah, Martin, you go ahead.
No, okay, yeah. Thanks, thanks, Edwin, for the insights. I think it's really a big change. If I look from your perspective, I can imagine that on the other side of the world we do things differently. If you would like to scale, do you scale then via signing more hospitals going to use, or do you need to go via individuals?
No, so what we started earlier on with individuals where, we're waiting for someone to download an app, social media, and then they connect with doctors. But you see, in a week, probably you're not having so many encounters. So we decided to move now to hospitals because that's where we generate large volumes of data. So right now we're in the process of onboarding 7,000 facilities, and we're doing it in a clever way. So we have a database that is already out there by the Ministry of Health, and we have an open API. So we're plugging in the DB to us, and then we want patients to help us claim your profile on those hospitals. So a patient would be like, but this is my favorite hospital, I want to be part of it. And we tell them, no, but it's not onboarded with Snark Health. So can you tell them you want? So they would just see like 100 claim your profile coming to them. Then they'll be like, what the heck is Snark Health? And then we onboard them. And then once we have large volumes of hospitals, then that translates to large volume of data sets. And then that way, when you do the identification and depending what data customers are looking for, that's when our business would be kicking in nicely. Hope I've answered the question. Sorry.
Yeah. And do you see also questions popping up around using the data? I know some banks, especially in the Netherlands, try to do so, and there was a big push against to use that. But how is it here? Because it sounds to me quite confidential, although it will help the system.
Yes. And especially, healthcare data is very sensitive. I wouldn't want any of my shit to be out there. But what we've done is we're following. So in Kenya, we have what we call Data Privacy Acts, and then we have the office dedicated for data protection. So the first thing we did, we worked with the office and started building our processes. What kind of information we are taking? How do you do the identification? How do you strip off the identifiers? And they were happy with that, and then they gave us what we call data processor certification. So they will be coming to do an audit every 6 months to see if we're doing what we said we were doing, or how we're handling the patient's data. And then, of course, during the onboarding process, the patient has the option to read anything to do with data monetization. If they're not okay with it, they simply they leave it unchecked, and our algorithm will simply just skim through, and it won't even touch your information. Yeah, and if you wake up one morning and you say, I want Snark Health to download and send me the data or destroy, we also have that process in place. It's not to say anything wrong about our friends who came in our market called WorldCoin, but they missed out that part, and that's why the government shut them out, because they just started collecting sensitive information without the process. Just an example. Nothing against WorldCoin.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, like, so one question, I think on your slide, it was saying that you contracted one hospital, and you're also saying the growth engine behind your company is pretty much collaborating with the hospitals. But with how many have you spoken so far? Like, what's the rate of acceptance there? And what do you usually pitch to them to win them over for this kind of project? Because I assume it would be quite difficult to actually win a hospital over. Like, it's the time that it also
Yeah. So right now we are working with 300 specialists on the platform, and what we've learned is us doing the way we use the traditional way, social media, to reach out and talking to hospitals individually. They couldn't see the value quickly, so we decided to use our own 300 specialists to talk to them and say, look, we're not trying to interfere with your work timetable, because we're just giving you a passive income. But so there's nothing wrong with you introducing us to your boss. So right now we're in the process. It's a bit hectic because we're bootstrapped, so we can't do so many campaigns at the same time. But what we're doing is we're attending all the doctor meetings, doctor conferences, showing them what's value we're giving them, and then now in turn they're convincing their hospitals. So that one is moving a bit. Right now we're at least 100 that they see the value, because they see the risk is on our side, not on their side, especially the data stuff. But this other trick that we are building the database, I think that one is going to work, because patients constantly triggering the hospitals, it will do a ripple effect. So we'll get more. Yeah.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much to the jury for these valuable questions, and Edwin for all your answers and your pitch. And it's time to move on to our fifth project. So I believe new technologies bring new problems, and one we see in the Web3 space is the one of tokenomics. And Patrick is here today with the project Smooth to present their solution, how we can reduce volatility. So Patrick, same as for everyone, 5 minutes pitch, 8 minutes questions. We start right away. Thank you for being here.
So welcome everybody to Smooth, which is a volatility reduction infrastructure to protect cryptocurrencies from economic collapse. So, and let me tell you how I grew this business to $16,000 of monthly recurring revenue in the last 3 months. If you look at the problem in the industry, 99% of cryptocurrencies suffer at least one massive collapse in their life cycle, and market makers are doing nothing to prevent this. In fact, they are kind of part of the problem, because 70% of the transaction volume on exchange are being faked by them, and they occasionally go on liquidation hunts to wipe out billions from customer funds. Meanwhile, every 4 years, the crypto industry suffer a massive collapse, and last time it wiped out $1 trillion. So you can ask the question, what did the market makers do to prevent this? And the truth is that token projects need their own infrastructure to handle market making of their own. So we want to solve this with a volatility reduction infrastructure that is designed specifically to protect tokens from economic collapse. The unique approach is to collect a large collateral that make tokens behave as hybrid between stablecoin and altcoins. So we are currently using existing technology that rely on version 3 of Uniswap, and we are in the process of fully automating the middleware with trading bots so that we can scale to the increased customer demand. So first, let me brief you on how a liquidity pool works on a decentralized exchange like Uniswap. When users swap between a stablecoin and their favorite token, let's say Cure, the USDT goes into the liquidity pool, and it acts essentially like a bank. However, the mathematics is prone to high volatility. So the reality is that when you see a project with $100 million of market cap in circulation, the liquidity available is only a tiny fraction of that, which lead to the risk of a bank run, and often that lead to the price collapse of more than 90%. So the way we do things differently is that we've designed a trading bot infrastructure that will place limit sell orders along the price curve of the exchange. And that makes the price grow more slowly. You can think of these sell orders as resistance zones in the price at various price interval. And then this way, we are collecting a large amount of collateral in USDT that we then use to create limit buy orders below the current price. And these will be acting as support zone in your price structure. So overall, this achieved two purposes. It reduced volatility by more than 50%, and it generates significant revenue that can be further used to protect the price against the collapse. And it also you can use for financing the operation of the business. So we essentially reduce panic selling behavior, and since we have a large collateral to protect the token economy. So for the past 10 months, I've been working on growing my influence in the crypto market. I now reached 5,000 views per month on Medium for my work on tokenomics and market making. And one of my articles has been discussed on the Crypto Banter show recently that had 60,000 views. In the last 3 months, we've grown to $16,000 in monthly recurring revenue from 4 customers. We have an additional 11 letter of interest and an additional 21 self-commitment to onboard in the next few months as the company get ready to launch their token on the market. So we typically charge $4,000 a month. We first start with tokenomics, and then we move into market making that is ongoing with an additional 10% of profit generated. So I used to run a $10 million crypto fund with Sale. I've been launching a token in the past, and we suffered an actual collapse. So this is why this problem is important to me. Prior to that, I was a senior full stack engineer with 2 degrees in AI, and I've launched 7 startups so far. I'm supported by James and Michael, who handle a lot of our sales process, while Sale handle the legal needs and IP protection. And Sale and I just filed last week our first provisional patent for the process of the system. So if you happen to be a Web3 startup that is launching a token soon, or a crypto exchange or a service provider to the industry, please reach out to me. Would love to work with you to prevent yet another collapse of the industry.
Thank you very much, Patrick, for the presentation. I think everything is clear, but I'm sure, again, the judges have some questions for you. So let's hand over to them.
Yes, I have a question. So you're saying you can prevent tokens from losing value while still generating an APY that's pretty high. Can you explain that to me, how that works and how, yeah, that would be great.
Yes, so I've run a proof of concept of this between June and August. And I'm able to generate 10% per month on the capital that was allocated. So I did 30% in that 3 months. I realized that this is pretty high, and there might be diminishing return as the market cap increase. But the way it works is that it's kind of like a grid bot when you do the market making. So you keep buying back as the price go down because you have a very large amount of collateral, and you sell the token when it start going up. So this way it kind of reduces the volatility, but you keep making pairs of trade that are profitable. And this is what I demonstrated, the 10% per month. So if you have 50% of collateral, on a market cap of 100 million, you might be making about $50 million a year of revenue on that. I think there might be diminishing return. We haven't reached that point yet, but it looks pretty encouraging at the moment.
But that is banking on that the coin goes up as well. So if it like buying low and selling high, sorry, I failed to see how that is unique.
A sideway market actually performed better in this case. But the unique part is that crypto exchange, they don't combine the limit buy and limit sell with the liquidity pool. So when people have $100 million of market cap in circulation and everything is in the liquidity pool, it's not representative of the true value in the pool itself, because it's often a very tiny fraction of that 100 million. So when people start selling, there's an economic collapse and panic selling that happens. Meanwhile, if you have a collateral that is outside of that, it's not acting on the price. So then you can have like a support zone in your price structure to prevent a fast collapse. You slow down the growth, but you slow down the decrease as well. So, I haven't seen anybody using that, but you can look at the industry. Like most token in the last bear market crashed more than 90%. Even Bitcoin lost 60%. I don't know any project that use that except stablecoin themselves. This is how with 100% of collateral, they're able to prevent like massive collapse and depegging.
Maybe I can go next. Thanks for answering the questions and the insights. You have signed up already 4 clients. You have 20 others that are interested. Can you shine a bit of light? What kind of clients are that? What kind of companies?
So Andromeda Protocol, they are on Cosmos. They are building kind of a visual editor to blockchain so that you can write new blockchain visually. It's a really interesting project. They're launching in 2 days actually on the market. Pickle Zone just signed. They will be launching in 2024 in the first quarter. It's an esports type of marketplace. Fermental, they are building a crypto casino on it start on Telegram, but they will be moving just pure blockchain on maybe ICP. And Curator, it's a token review platform. They are also, most of them haven't launched their token yet. So I have yet to get the data to write a case study so that I can onboard more clients. A lot of my other soft commitment and signed LOI, they are waiting to see a case study of that. So.
All right, thank you.
I have a quick question regarding the growth of this model, because what I feel like right now, it's pretty much a lot of manual work involved in this as well. Like you need to onboard these clients manually. You need to consult them on the tokenomics. So what is your like strategy regarding onboarding, like let's say hundreds of customers in the future? How will that be made possible? Is that all a question of how much people you have that can do the same as you, or like how would that look like? How can you automate the processes around it for soft onboarding?
Yeah, that's thing. Right now we're automating the process with trading bots. But ideally, if this was integrated directly on the exchange, that would simplify things a lot. And then the client could just configure when they inject the liquidity pool on Uniswap or other exchange, they could just configure a few more steps to configure how the collateral is collected and how it behave. This is why we filed the process patent so that we can negotiate on the exchange to integrate this directly on them. This way, our customer support and onboarding process would be very simplified.
Interesting, but you haven't, like, you have filed the patent, but you did not speak with some of the exchanges yet, right?
No, I have 3 exchange in my 21 of commitment that are interested.
Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I believe there are no further questions, also no questions in the chat. And since we had now our first 5 startups pitching, let's take a brief moment to tell you what we're doing today. So this is the demo day of the season 4 of the BFG Superstars and Adrenaline program. We already saw 5 teams. We're going to see 5 more teams. So I just want to thank briefly everyone who's watching, but also our 3 judges. The structure is always 5 minutes of pitch and 8 minutes of questions. So for everyone who just joined us recently, that's what we're doing today. And with that being said, let's move on to the next team. That would be team Chain Comply. And not only the Web3 has some problems, as we saw that Patrick are trying to solve, but also the integration between Web 2 or Web 2.5 and Web 3. So Paulina, I hand over to you to explain what you guys are doing at Chain Comply.
Yeah, thank you very much. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pavlina, and I'm the co-founder of Chain Comply. And today we will talk about crypto compliance. I'd like to get started by introducing you to John. John likes crypto. He likes to invest here and there. Sometimes he loses, sometimes he wins, but whenever he tries to get his wins out of the crypto exchange into his regular bank account, it's always a hassle. In fact, John is not alone. There are more than 140 million of crypto users in Europe, which is more than 20% of the population, and those numbers are only about to grow. I would also like to introduce you to Samantha. Samantha works in a retail bank, and her mind is occupied with due diligence, regulatory requirements, source of funds investigation. She doesn't necessarily hate crypto, but what keeps her awake at night are the billions worth of cryptocurrency laundered and the billions crypto-related fines for financial institutions. In fact, her mind was completely blown when a couple of weeks ago she heard about the most recent fine for Binance at the value of 4.3 billion USD. Now, Samantha receives hundreds of cases like John's on a daily basis, and she rejects most of them. Why? Because banks do not talk crypto. In fact, banks do not trust crypto exchanges. They consider them almost on the level of pirates. Now, another side of the story is that banks also don't understand the data sets arriving from crypto exchanges. And that could be particularly challenging when trying to do source of funds investigation. Speaking of the latter, for an ML officer today to do source of funds investigation, they would have to rely on second-hand Excel sheets, sometimes even screenshots. They would need to be expert in blockchain forensics and most likely spend almost a day on a single case. Now, we at Chain Comply are here to change this. How? We will equip bank officers with an enhanced due diligence ML tool for quick and easy source of funds investigations. So instead of Excel sheets, we will collect the data from the crypto exchanges with APIs. We will also check the client's blockchain activity, again via API, and we will provide the ML officer at the bank with comprehensive overview. This way, the work of the ML officer will be reduced to not more than 5 minutes per single case. With Chain Comply, a bank officer can stop stressing over the transactions arriving from crypto exchanges because now they can do risk assessment per account, per wallet, per exchange. They can count on compliance flags recommended by the global regulator, and they can get numerous visualizations and analytics to do quick source of funds investigations. There is also something for the crypto holders. With Chain Comply, they will be able to connect their crypto exchange data just within a few clicks. Now, until now, we mostly talk about banks, but in fact, our solution is suitable for a much wider scope of potential clients, including e-wallets, crypto exchanges, financial intelligence units, law enforcements, and now a quick work on the competition. So we believe that our competition will come from the ML software and blockchain analytics market. But what is important to note right now is that a couple of months ago, we came across our first competitor, a spin-off of one of the blockchain analytics giants. And while this is very interesting because it validates the need for our product, it also shows us that we need to act fast and grab this market share. Speaking of acting fast, we have just signed our first letter of intent for a pilot implementation with Violet, and we've also built a strong pipeline of potential clients for Q1 and Q2 of 2024. Now, we believe that this will put us in an excellent position for June 2024, when MiCA, the regulation for virtual asset providers, comes into force, and this will be also the timing when the demand for our product will skyrocket. A little bit about the business model. We have a SaaS model, so monthly subscription. We'll also be generating some revenues from recurring reselling fees, training and consulting. And a few words on the team. Our team has more than 50 years of collective experience from the financial and fintech sector. We've built 2 other startups before. We founded the first peer-to-peer lending platform in Eastern Europe 8 years ago. And 3 years ago, we founded Chainco, which we later on pivoted into Chaincomply. So thank you for your time, and we're ready for your questions.
Thank you very much, Paulina. That was just right on time.
Good timing, no?
Yeah, perfect timing. A lot of practice. Okay, let's hand over back to the judges.
Thanks for the pitch. Very interesting. So you said there's an issue of trust in the system as well, right? So why would banks trust you?
I would like to invite my co-founder, Łukasz, to answer this question.
Yeah, it's a good question. The thing is that they don't have much options right now. So it's the data sets that they will need to get used to are completely external to their core activity. So there will be a problem of trust. Like, how do we get like let's say we have the same problem like trust like Chainalysis has, because we need to have the data proven. At the same time, we are data visualization. So there's data coming in, and as soon as we can reconcile and show them that we do visualize the totality of the data, and we use the tools that are certified, we think we can win their trust. The traditional banks maybe will be not our first clients. We aim for neobanks, EMIs, e-wallets, also crypto exchanges themselves. So that
indeed
there will be some way to get trust.
Banks are not so easy to trust, especially startups. We know it very well because we both come from the banking world. So as Łukasz said, indeed, they would not be our first client.
Great. I have one follow-up question, and that is there any legal liability for providing the data? Because, for example, I believe Chainalysis was sued recently for providing something. So have you looked at that risk?
So the data sets are imperfect. We are actually integrating outcomes of blockchain scanning from Chainalysis or any tool that the client selects. So we even rely on that data, and yeah, it's a complex system right now. There's no alternatives, so we work what we have, and I think MiCA is pushing everyone to work with those tools. Like MiCA was approved, these entities have to coexist with banks. So I think those little things will smooth out in the next years, but right now we just have to work with what we have, I think.
But indeed, also finally, we're there to visualize the data. So yes, the data is imperfect, and we cannot really take responsibility for the data itself, because our job is to visualize it and to present it.
Okay, great clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe from my side, one question. So I checked your early traction slides, and I saw you had this customer, Vale is one of your first ones you signed the LOI with. But I'm wondering, like, how many leads did you engage here, and like, what has been the feedback of this solution so far? As you mentioned, it's hard to convince these neobanks of your solution. So I'm just wondering, like, how many have you spoken with? What's the success rate there?
So we speak to many. The problem is that we still don't have a product ready, and we are an unfunded startup. So sometimes when they hear about our stage of development, the banks just walk away. They don't want to meet us. We have more success with EMIs. So these are companies who are working with VASPs. And we have the first client, but also maybe a second client is already, like, let's say, half ready.
Almost ready.
So we are at the beginning of this journey. We cannot say that we have like banks rolling up to buy right now. When we talk to banks, they say basically that they will wait until regulator will tell them what to do and when MiCA goes live. So we have a couple of months to prepare ourselves and to build the right product when we believe that our then they will come knocking at our doors, like how can we really do source of funds investigations.
So indeed, all of the banks would need our product, but we'll have to wait for the regulation to kick in, so they come knocking on our door. We'll use this time to onboard as many EMIs as we can. And this is our immediate target for Q1 and Q2. So the names you saw on that slide, in fact, they're EMIs. And we have at the moment, as Lucas said, one that is almost ready as the second client potentially, and then two more which sound more serious than the others.
And do you have any geographic focus here? Yeah, do you have any geographic focus here as well? I'm not familiar with some of these names, but is that mainly in Europe, or do regulations also for data differ if you, let's say, talk to clients in Singapore? How does that look like?
We haven't. Our geographical focus at the moment is Europe, also because of MiCA coming and regulating the space. We recently, for example, attended some events in the UK, and in fact, there things are happening a bit slower just because they don't have MiCA, they have their own regulations, so it's a more complicated story. Short answer, our geographical focus at the moment is Europe. And
maybe Lithuania is this place where you have, I think, 60 different EMIs. So it's like a valley of payments, and those institutions, we actually want to make a road trip there.
Thanks for the presentation. Can you shine a bit of light on the technology? What are you using?
So it's a normal .NET development, right? And then we use it's a traditional development, and we use scanners to get data from the exchanges. There's no really any smart contract or any blockchain development there. And then we use React and Vue on the front end.
So it's really combining traditional data sets, data from exchanges to get the data and to analyze those.
Yes, data from exchanges, that's the main part, but we go a little bit beyond, because then when we get the data from exchange, we know all the clients' interactions, and we have to go one step further. So we need to check the interactions with the scanners on the blockchain, see maybe one step further how far we need to go to basically make sure that the money is clean.
Oh, thank you for the clarification.
I think that were all the question. There's one question in the chat, but I think it's my heart to answer in 30 seconds, but maybe you can give it a try. They're asking if it will be hard to scale. So maybe just a short sentence on what's your plan on that?
Actually, hard to scale in terms of our startup is resources, or in terms of the market itself, because as we said, From a business development point of view, once MiCA comes into place, every financial institution will need our tools. So from that point of view, we're focusing now on the EMIs until June of 2024, and then expanding our business development strategy to the larger banks.
Maybe from the product, I would say that our solution is really not, it doesn't need to be integrated with anything at the bank side.
Yeah.
That's a big win. We just sit at the back. When they have a problem with enhanced due diligence, they go into our tool, which is a cloud-based solution. So it's a completely third-party tool that can be really super easy sell to banks, because that's the biggest worry. How much do we have to integrate?
Yeah, so the tool would obviously require some configuration, for example, on the policies or on the red flags, but other than that, it's a service you subscribe to, so there is no integration needed. So from that point of view, the product is very scalable. We can sell the subscription to as many different companies as we would like to.
Perfect. I think that answered very well the question and also clarified. So thank you for taking all the questions. Thank you for asking these valuable questions. And let's stay within the area of collecting data, but also visualizing it. Thank you, Paulina, for being here today. And let's move on to our next startup, which is called Tin Network. I would like to hand over to Muhammad. So he is the expert in visualization of data, especially in the area of DeFi and NFTs. But I don't want to tell anything more about it because he will take over.
Thank you so much. Just can you see my screen?
Yes, it's working. Cool. Thank you.
Cool. So hi, everyone. So today we are talking about Tin Network. So to give you a quick intro, like Tin Network is a dashboard for tracking and managing a DeFi portfolio. We cover more than 65 networks and more than 600 protocols. To simplify it, like think about it as your online banking. You have multiple banks, and then you want to track all your accounts in one user interface. So what's the problem we're trying to solve? Access to DeFi remains challenging. It's not user-friendly. It's complicated to understand. Especially newbies, not aware of the risk. Managing and tracking the fund is hard, and good user experience is rare. All that leads to some investor losing fund, losing tracking of their funds, blocking paths to new investors, also blocking the paths for newbies to take advantage of the DeFi. What's our vision? We want to become an essential one-stop tool for all DeFi investors and allow our users to track, manage, spend their holdings through end-to-end experience. We started in October 2021, and so far, now we have more than 100,000 investors, and we track almost in a monthly basis 1.2 billion. Our average holding per wallet, 80,000. And we have multiple partnerships with big dApps like Polygon, Chainlink, Unstoppable Domain. And so far, we have more than 12,000 organic followers through social media. Our competition at the moment, we have like Zapper, DBank, Hansen Portfolio, and us. And this is a quick overview of the competition. And as you said, from the coverage, we are in the top 5 in general. But from the coverage, network, and chains, we are probably the first, because we cover also EVM and non-EVM networks. And also from protocol, we are the second. We cover more than 600, DBank 900. And we have more features like, helping our user to directly manage their funds, like harvest, impairment, loss. And this is our competitive advantage, like, providing more data, like impairment, loss, risk score. Direct harvest will also optimize the transaction that help our users who harvest every day to save cost based on optimizing the transaction of harvesting. And also, as I said, our vision is one-stop shop. That's why we provide like the history, the revoke permission, and generating some reports. I'll skip the demo now. I'll put it in. As I said, we started in 2021. When we started, we got in the first month 2,000 users. At the moment now, we have more than 130,000. Our coverage, we almost cover every country in the world. And our user type, like DeFi newbies, DeFi regular users, and DeFi power users from B2C. And B2B, we have like DeFi protocols, crypto investment platform, crypto taxes platform, and crypto compliance and Web3 wallets. And the market size based on the Analytics and other data business stream, more than 4 million. How we acquire new users. Since we start, we didn't pay zero marketing. We use our community to make announcement, and also many people on social media already created like a demo and posted on social media about us. Our business model at the moment, we charge farming to be listed in our dashboard. And also we have a banner running on our dashboard. Our dashboard is free at the moment, but we have a plan in the future to make subscription. And also from B2B, we have an API integration. So if any provider want to use our data, we have an API integration. Our team at the moment is on me. So I have more than 10 years of experience as a full stack and designer. And I work with many banks and also work as AWS. What's the next? We need to focus more on community and also reduce the scam happening on Telegram. So we are creating a community per liquidity pool. And we creating like improving the experience for tracking to make it more like entertaining, like creating like a called city.10 network. So you can also go through the city and then see the protocol as a kiosks. And yeah, that's it. Sorry if I was moving fast to cover everything in 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. No worries. You still have 8 minutes to elaborate on some further points and to take some questions. So let's start with that.
Can you quickly go into the permissions? What are people giving you permission to do?
Sorry?
That's a permission. You said like there's a permission revoke, but what do people need to give permission for?
So for example, when people approve some contracts, so those contracts can be vulnerable later or can have under risk, so they can revoke the permission. So those contracts cannot access their funds in the future.
Very great. And it's impressive that you've grown this on your own, basically. But do you have a plan to hire more people and to grow this, basically? Because I believe alone it's a lonely road, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm joining like a BFG to mainly grow and also get more people with me, because at the moment the competitor is like huge. Like, you know, the DBank, they have a huge team, Zapper, they have a huge team. So I need to grow also the team to keep the competition. And also one thing I want to talk about the competition, that as you can see in this area, we cover the whole world. So the market is super big, and also 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 dashboard to track your funds is not enough to cover the whole DeFi space.
Thanks for the pitch. Looks great. So a compliment for all the work you're doing. How do you split your time? Because you need to look for new clients. I think you do a lot via social media, but you also need to develop the product. So what will have to focus in the coming period?
So my main focus for sure, developing new or integrating new protocol and developing in the product. That's for sure my main focus. And also I shift those acquiring new users or creating new clients through the community. So in Telegram, people helping me a lot, the community, because it's a free dashboard. So people willing to help or donate, actually so many money coming from donation as well. So that's helped me also to grow, because people willing to help to get more users, to make posts on social media, to asking other protocol to be listed in the network, which they come to me and they pay money for that without even me going through them.
Okay, thank you.
So you're also, Muhammad, you mentioned that there are already some ads featured farms that you're also having on your platforms. And given the growth that you already have and the users that you have, I would assume there's also like a good amount of monthly recurring revenue coming in, or how does that look right now?
So again, our monthly revenue come from like ads, fast track listed, and then the ads, and then for sure, because we have a lot of data, so we take all this money and then farming, because we have the data, we know where to farm. So that's also good. So we generate a lot of money from farming personally. And last thing is like API integration. So many provider like we have now like 4 or 5 people using our API integration. They pay monthly fees for that. But the banners based on the market. So for example, last year we're generating a lot of money from advertising when the pool run. At the moment it's not much, but it's based on the market. But our main focus in the future to focus into API integration and also make subscription fee in our dashboard. So limit our feature in our dashboard to make it a pro version, so our users can pay for that.
Okay, understood. Maybe a quick follow-up question, like what is actually for you to harness so much data, what is actually the operating cost for you to run this business?
At the moment, all the cost is covered, like 2 years, like all the costs covered through, as I said, donation banners. The cost is like I try to optimize as much as I can because that's how I keep going. Like, but at the moment, our cost is covered from the revenue we make.
Okay.
But we are not the best. Like, to be honest, like we are not the fastest. Like, if I show you like you can go try. If you put your address and then collect the data, it took like 30 seconds to get the data from 60 network. Maybe DBank is faster because for sure they have more money to have the best servers and etc. But at the moment, like the gap between us, like 5-10 seconds, so that's okay. Plus, we cover more networks for sure.
Okay, are there...
I also, yeah, one more thing. So I also checked your website and I saw some of the farms and pools, and also the protocol. Some of them say like you recommend which ones of these are audited and stuff like this. But who's actually like, is it also you who maintains all this badges, like checking each protocol if they're audited, if they complete an audit, if they did a new audit? So you're also doing that by yourself?
It's part of the, like, it's kind of half automation. So it's a kind of listing. So when I list any protocol, I have to go through the contract because there's no documentation how to read the data. So while I'm going through contract, I also audited, kind of audit. It's not like, it's kind of small, like 6 metrics I use to define the risk score. So based also if it's the company is audited, if the smart contract have any vulnerabilities at the moment, or the owner, or if it's a proxy contract. So I have like kind of 6 metrics I go through it to define the risk, and that's really was a key feature, especially for newbies, to understand which has a higher risk, especially also stablecoin and other tokens in the special in NLB in liquidity pools, to people, especially for new people, to understand, okay, this has more risk because of also this focus into impairment loss.
Okay, thank you very much. There is one user actually in the chat who is using TIN as a daily user, and he's just asking about the roadmap, or which will be your end game. So maybe you can shed some light on what's the next steps for TIN.
So next steps, as I said, the community one, because that's a big thing, especially will attract also a lot of, like I saw in DBank and others, they're creating this messaging mainly for advertising. But based on the research I did and asking people, people would like to, communicate based on the liquidity pool. So if I'm owner of liquidity pool, other owner, they need to communicate between each other. So there is no scam. So focus on the community based on the LP and each LP, and then people can join this chat, and then they can only the holding of this LP can talk between each other. I think that can improve or reduce a lot the scam on Telegram and Discord, and also focus in those users only, where they can have direct information to those users for those LPs. And then after that, for sure, focus on this gamified the dashboard to make it like a game and island where you can go through it, and then the protocol can book kiosk. So when you come closer to kiosk, it tell you more information on this protocol. But for sure that this is a Q4 2024.
Okay, thank you very much. And we had one more startup Yuki planned today, but it seems like there was a last-minute problem and the team could not join us today. So that would be the end of the pitches. But I still have some slides to share with you, so please stay for a second with me, because it has been really a pleasure working with all these startups. So I would like to briefly talk about the BFG Superstars program, but also about the BFG Adrenaline program, and especially announce that the season 5 waitlist is already open, so you can sign up already to receive the news about the deadlines. The official deadline will be end of February, but you can sign up already for the waitlist. And what is the Superstars or the Adrenaline program? So we have seen that there is some demand vis-a-vis to the Web2 businesses, that also in Web3 we simply have advantages such as anonymity, openness, and of course privacy. Today we have seen how different ideas can make use of Web3 technology, and we firmly believe that there is a huge opportunity for new business models to run on decentralized networks. And what's the deal with our program? So we invest in some of the teams that end our programs. We invest between 70 and 100K in exchange of equity. But also during the program, the startup teams receive some monthly compensation. But most of it, I think, are the workshops we are offering, and that we're just working very closely together with the teams every week. And I think some of the feedback we received, that it's sometimes challenging to keep up with what we're doing during the workshops. But I think that's the power that we have, and that's what has reached the point of today, where we could see how these amazing ideas have been developed in such a short time. We run these programs twice a year. So the first cohort starts always in March. So that's the one you can apply now for and goes until June. Then we have a second cohort that starts in September and ends with the final pitches around December. So that's what we were doing right now. And yeah, you can get in touch with me or any other member of the core team, like Melissa, Yona, Max, or Yongchang, if you have any questions. But also, if you are an investor, you can reach out to us if you need more information about the startups who pitched today. We also had a large group watching on YouTube today. So if you have any further questions, just reach out to one of us. And just adding something to the new application phase, there are different focus areas where we are on. So that could be DeFi, NFTs, the metaverse, DAOs and governance, but also analytics, asset management, gaming, Bitcoin Lightning, CO2 compensation, identity, financial inclusion, artificial intelligence, and the list goes on and on. So if you have an idea, or if you're a founder, or you think you have founder material, then check out our website. We are 100% online. As I mentioned earlier, we are a remote program, so it doesn't really matter where you come from and what your background is. You can be a student who looks out to kickstart their startup right after graduation, but you also can be coming from the corporate world, just trying to make the jump from Web 2 to Web 3. Then I have another announcement, and that would be our BFG Booster. So that's an exclusive online course we are launching now. You can still get the chance to have a 30% early bird discount. So there we will provide founders with fundraising tips, feedback, but also access some startup tools. So everything that we have learned in the last cohorts of our programs, we have packed it into a booster program for startups who want to learn our best practices and join our network. And some final notes, we would love to stay connected. We also have a mailing list where you can get updates about our startups, about our events. We are hosting some monthly Web3 pitches. We also have now coming up some Ask Me Anything sessions where we can discuss what the programs are about. We can answer some questions, but also discuss what ideas the founders out there are bullish on. If you want to receive more information, just join our mailing list or follow us on social media like Twitter, Medium, or LinkedIn. Those are the platforms that we run on. Check out our website. And if you want to see a full overview of our startup portfolio, you can also scan the link to the right. And with that being said, I think we are very good on time. And if there are no further questions in the chat about what I just presented, I think we can end today's session. So my name is Dominic, and this was the BFG Season 4 Demo Day, where you could witness who within our program we helped the Web3 founders to scale their ideas in the last couple months. Thank you very much for having me today. Thank you for watching. Thanks to our judges for being here, for asking valuable questions, and of course for to our startups who have been presenting today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.